Welcome to Storytime with Grammy Field. Today's book is called Finding Christmas. It's written by Helen Ward and it's illustrated by Wayne Anderson. It had been a long and dreary December, and here it was, Christmas Eve. For weeks, the little girl in the red coat had been searching for the perfect present to give to someone very special. Now night was falling and time was growing short. The main street was noisy and crowded. The girl was stepped on, pushed and jostled, and squeezed off the busy pavement. Into the damp gloom of December Lane, which was as gray and cold and empty as a winter without Christmas. An ordinary shopper would have turned back, but the girl in the red coat wasn't ready to give up. Maybe, she thought, the perfect gift is just waiting to be found, here in this overlooked corner of town. As she peered into the shabby windows, her hope began to fade. There was nothing special here, only shops full of spare parts and old teapots and dusty dead insects. She shivered and pulled her coat more tightly around her. Just as she was about to turn back, a glimmer from across the street caught her eye. A patch of warm light spilled from a shop window. She couldn't recall having seen before. It was heaped with toys and games, and the girl could see that the shop was bustling with activity. As she pushed open the door, a bell on a spring rang merrily. A little breath of Christmas slipped past her, out into the December lane, and up to the dark gray clouds. She closed the door carefully behind her and stood staring in wonder. She had never seen so many toys. Surely she could find an extra special present here. What do you think? Do you think she can find something in that? It's a very busy store. Teddy bears and model trains, books and dolls and dinosaurs were piled on high shelves and long countertops. At one of the counters, another customer was being helped. Shop assistants raced around, crossing items off long shopping lists. "Excuse me," said the girl politely. "I'd like to find a—" "I'll be with you shortly," came the answer. Aw. Very busy, busy store. Up and down the ladders the assistants flew. The girl watched as one shelf after another became empty. "Can I help? Can you help me?" the girl asked a hurrying assistant. "I see you have a—" "Just a moment," he replied. The other customer, who barely fit into his huge gray coat and well-worn hat, scooped games from the shelves and into his sack. Surely he's not going to buy everything. But the passing assistant just waved a dismissive hand. The other customer looked her way as he bustled past. From under the brim of his hat, she thought, she caught the wink of a kind and twinkly eye. The toys continued to roll and scuttle into the enormous sack. They rattled and pinged and squeaked and whistled until the floor, the counters, and every shelf was cleared. As if by magic, the girl looked on in dismay. Soon the other customer was ready to leave. He tied his great sack shut, slung it over his back, and somehow squeezed through the door, leaving just enough space for a cheerful Merry Christmas. I am very sorry, miss, but we have nothing left to sell, said the chief assistant, turning to her at last. The girl in the red coat felt her heart sink. She would just have to continue her search elsewhere. Not to worry, whispered the assistant with a secret smile. Sometimes the best presents are the ones that find us. The girl stepped outside and gazed up into the darkness, swirling with snowflakes. It had been a dreary December and a dismal Christmas Eve, but the town in its fresh white coat looked perfectly beautiful. The girl smiled at the thought of how much the special someone waiting at home would love this snow. It wasn't something she had bought in a store, but it was still a gift they could share. As she turned toward home, the girl heard the faint merry ring of a bell. She looked up and something tumbled toward her out of the sky. Can you see what that is? It's right there. I'm going to try to put it so you can see it. Kind of hard to see in all that snow. When a flurry and a gentle thud, a little breath of Christmas landed at her feet. It was exactly what she had been searching for, the extra special present. For an extra special brother's very first Christmas. What do you think of that? I think it was very sweet of her to go and look for something special for her little brother for his very first Christmas. Thank you for joining me for story time.